Welcome, brave soul. I am the Forgotten Storyteller. Before we begin, tap that like button if you dare, and drop a comment below telling me where in the world you're listening from. And if you make it to the end of this video, I hope to see you in the next story. I hope you're ready, because I am. Let's begin. The air hung thick with dread, even before we crossed the invisible line separating the normal woods from the section locals called Galena. I could feel it, a cold, clammy hand on the back of my neck, a primal urge to turn back. But Luke, was never one to back down from a challenge, especially one wrapped in whispers of the supernatural. "You sure about this, Luke?" Alexa asked, her voice tight. She was meticulously checking her flashlight for the 10th time. Alexa was the brains of our operation, the researcher, the one who actually read the countless forum threads and poorly written blog posts about Galena Cabin. I was the enthusiast. "Relax, Lex," I said, trying to sound more confident than I felt. "It's just an old cabin. A little spooky, sure, but haunted? Come on." She shot me a look that clearly said, "You haven't read the same things I have." According to Alexa's research, Galena Cabin had been the site of, well, a lot of things. Murders, rituals, disappearances, a veritable buffet for ghost hunters and internet conspiracy theorists. The common thread? Anyone who stayed the night never left the same. Some never left at all. The trees in Galena were gnarled and twisted, their branches clawing at the sky. The sunlight struggled to penetrate the dense canopy, casting the forest floor in perpetual twilight. It was unsettling even for someone like me who thrived on the macabre. Finally we saw it, Galena Cabin. It stood hunched in a small clearing, a skeletal silhouette against the fading light. The wood was rotting, the windows were dark and empty, like vacant eyes staring into our souls. A broken porch sagged in the front, threatening to collapse with the slightest weight. "Charming," I said, perhaps a little too sarcastically. Alexa didn't reply. She was too busy taking pictures and making notes. According to the local historical society, this cabin was built in the late 1800s by a recluse named Silas Galena, she said, her voice hushed. "He was eccentric. Rumors say he practiced dark arts." "Dark arts, huh?" I grinned. "Sounds right up our alley." We cautiously approached the cabin. The front door was unlocked, which was both convenient and deeply unsettling. The hinges screamed in protest as I pushed it open, revealing a single large room filled with dust and shadows. The air inside was thick and heavy like a damp blanket. A massive stone fireplace dominated one wall, cold and lifeless. A rickety staircase led to what I assumed was the second floor. Cobwebs draped everything like macabre decorations. It smelled of mildew and something else, something sickly sweet and vaguely metallic. "Okay," Alexa said, her voice barely a whisper. "Let's set up." I brought a EMF reader, a voice recorder, and a thermal camera. And of course the sage. She pulled a bundle of dried sage from her backpack with a flourish. I watched her meticulously set up her equipment, her brow furrowed in concentration. Alexa took this seriously. For her, it wasn't just about thrills, it was about finding some kind of truth. But me, on the other hand, I was mostly in it for the adrenaline rush. We spent the next few hours exploring the cabin, taking readings, and trying to debunk the rumors. The EMF reader flickered occasionally, but nothing significant. The thermal camera showed only normal temperature variations. The voice recorder picked up nothing but our own voices and the creaks of the old cabin. As darkness fell, a thick fog rolled in, blanketing the woods in an eerie silence. The only sound was the crackling fire I had managed to build in the fireplace. We sat huddled together, sharing a thermos of lukewarm coffee. "Well," I said, trying to sound upbeat, "looks like Galena Cabin is just an old, creepy cabin. Maybe the stories are just that, stories." Alexa didn't say anything. She was staring into the fire, her eyes wide and unblinking. "Alexa?" I asked, nudging her shoulder. She blinked and seemed to snap out of a trance. I don't like this place, Luke," she said, her voice trembling. "I have a really bad feeling." "Hey, it's okay," I said, trying to reassure her. "We can leave any time. We're not trapped here." But even as I said the words, I felt a prickle of unease. Something was off. The air seemed to grow colder, the shadows deeper. The silence pressed in on us, heavy and suffocating. Then I heard it, a whisper. Faint, barely audible, but undeniably a voice. It seemed to come from the corner of the room near the staircase. "Luke?" I heard my name. "Did you hear that?" I asked Alexa, my heart pounding in my chest. She shook her head, her eyes wide with fear. "Hear what?" "Someone whispered my name," I said. "It came from over there." I pointed towards the staircase. Alexa grabbed my arm. "Luke, don't," she said, her voice pleading. "It's probably just your imagination." But I couldn't resist. The challenge, the thrill, the need to know, it was too strong. I grabbed my flashlight and started towards the staircase. "Luke, please don't go," Alexa cried. I ignored her and started to climb. The stairs creaked ominously under my weight. The air grew colder with each step. When I reached the top, I found myself in a long, narrow hallway lined with doors. Each door was slightly ajar, revealing only darkness within. "Hello," I called out, my voice echoing in the silence. "Is anyone there?" Only silence answered me. Then I heard the whisper again. "Luke?" This time it seemed to come from behind one of the doors. My hand trembled as I reached out and pushed the door open. The room beyond was small and bare, containing only a dusty rocking chair and a cobweb-draped window. "Luke?" The whisper came again, this time from behind another door. I rushed to it and threw it open. That room was also empty. I moved down the hallway, opening each door in turn, searching for the source of the voice. But each room was the same, empty, cold, and silent. Then, as I reached the end of the hallway, I heard the whisper again. "Luke, I'm down here?" The voice seemed to come from the bottom of the staircase. Confused, I turned and started back down the stairs. When I reached the bottom, I saw Alexa standing in the middle of the room, her face pale and drawn. "Did you hear it?" I asked her. "The voice." She nodded slowly. "Yes," she said, "but it wasn't upstairs, it was everywhere." A chill ran down my spine. I looked around the room, trying to pinpoint the location of the voice. "Luke?" It seemed to come from behind the fireplace. I walked towards the fireplace and reached out to touch the cold, rough stone. "Luke, come closer." The voice was clearer now, more distinct. It sounded like me, almost, but twisted, distorted, evil. I hesitated. Something was wrong. Terribly wrong. "Luke, join us." "Who are you?" I asked, my voice trembling. "What do you want?" A low, guttural chuckle echoed through the room. "We want you, Luke," the voice said. "We want your soul." Suddenly, the fire in the fireplace flared up, casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. The air grew thick with the stench of sulfur. Alexa screamed. I turned to see her being pulled towards the shadows by unseen forces. Her eyes were wide with terror, her mouth open in a silent scream. "Alexa!" I shouted, rushing towards her. But as I reached out to grab her, I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was very cold, but clammy, almost like the dead. I turned to see a figure standing behind me. It was tall and gaunt, its face hidden in the shadows. But I could see its eyes, burning red, filled with malice. "Welcome, Luke," the figure said, its voice a rasping whisper. "Join us." I tried to pull away, but the figure's grip was too strong. It pulled me closer, its icy breath on my face. "No," I shouted, struggling against its grasp. "Let me go." The figure chuckled again. "It's too late, Luke," it said. "You're already one of us." I felt a searing pain in my chest like a burning brand. My vision blurred, my head spun. I felt myself being pulled into the darkness, my soul being ripped from my body. Then everything went black. I don't know how long I was unconscious. When I finally came to, I was lying on the floor, staring up at the ceiling. The fire in the fireplace had died down, leaving the room in near darkness. Alexa was gone. I sat up, my head throbbing. The pain in my chest was still there, but it was duller now, more of a constant ache. I stood up and stumbled towards the door. I had to get out of here. I had to escape. But as I reached the door, I heard the whisper again. "Luke?" It came from inside my head. I froze, my blood running cold. "Luke, don't leave us." I turned and looked back into the room. The shadows seemed to writhe and twist, forming grotesque shapes. I could feel the presence of the entity, its malevolent gaze fixed on me. "We need you, Luke," the voice whispered. "You can help us collect more souls." I clutched my head in my hands, trying to block out the voice. But it was no use. It was inside me now, a part of me. "No," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "I won't do it. I won't help you." The voice chuckled. "You have no choice, Luke," it said. "You're one of us now. You belong to us." I knew it was right. I could feel the evil seeping into my soul, corrupting me, turning me into something else. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. I knew what I had to do. I wouldn't let it control me. I wouldn't let it use me to hurt others. I would fight it. I opened my eyes and looked back into the room. The shadows were waiting, eager to claim me. "I'm not afraid of you," I said, my voice stronger now. "I'm not going to let you win." The voice laughed. "You can't stop us, Luke. it said. We're too strong. You're already ours. Maybe, I said. But I'm going to make you work for it. I turned and ran out of the cabin, into the darkness of Galena Forest. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I had to get away. I had to find a way to fight the evil that was inside me. As I ran, I could hear the voice in my head taunting me, trying to control me. But I wouldn't let it. I would fight it every step of the way. I knew the road ahead would be long and difficult. I knew I would face unimaginable horrors. But I wasn't going to give up. I was Luke, and I was never one to back down from a challenge. Even if that challenge was saving my own soul. I'm still out there in case you were wondering. Running. Fighting. The whispers are always there, a constant torment. But I hold on. I have to. Maybe, just maybe, one day I can find a way to break free. Maybe one day I can find Alexa. All I know is Galena Cabin claimed a part of me, a part one desperately need to reclaim. And until then, the woods will echo with my struggle, a testament to the evil that lurks within and the will to resist it. Let us know in the comments, would you have been like Luke and try to fight it, or would you have joined and collected other souls it?
Ready for spine-chilling tales that will haunt your thoughts. Subscribe to Forgotten Storyteller for eerie narrations, unsettling mysteries, and haunting stories you won't forget. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a story, because some stories refuse to stay buried. Join us, if you dare.